Hey guys, it's Nicholas here from upgradeToLife.com, and welcome to this very important video actually, which is called What Does It Mean When the Circumstances Get Worse? So I get this many times, I see this in the comments, I sometimes get this via email, I get this when I speak with people, and they tell me, I've been doing all of the techniques, right? I've been doing this, I've been doing that, I've been imagining the end, I've been doing sets, I've been visualizing the end, I've been, going into my end state. I experienced the wish fulfilled, I felt it was done, but all of a sudden, the next day, 2 days later, I experienced the opposite, or things seemingly go sideways. They don't go how they're supposed to go. So what am I doing wrong? What am I missing? Why do these circumstances get worse, even though I want to consciously manifest that? Right, so then this is a thing where many people get tripped up over, and then what they do is they fall back into the old undesired state and they make that alive again, instead of actually remaining in that end state and letting the circumstances just show what they want to show. But I want to explain this in more detail to you so that you know what that means and that you can learn from that, okay? So here are my explanations, right? First of all, what we have to look at is this statement when someone says, my circumstances get worse. I've been manifesting this goal for, weeks, but my circumstances get worse. They show me the opposite. This is still a personal judgment from your side. In just a second, you will understand why. This is your own personal judgment, okay? Because here's an example. Let's say someone has the desire to double their salary, right? They want a greater income from their job. They want, to have a better work environment, whatever it is, okay? That's their desire. So what they do, of course, as we're supposed to do, they imagine the end. They make this internal state already natural, where they already feel that they have it. It is done for them. They feel the relief. They know it's done. It's completed, right? But then, for example, what could happen is that 2 days later, they get fired. They get a notification from their boss, hey, you're fired right now. So obviously, instantly, they would go into, my circumstances got worse. I imagined the end. I wanted to have a better salary from this job, but now, I got fired. So I must be doing something wrong. There's something going sideways here. No, right? If they would remain in that end state of having that higher salary, of having that better job environment, whatever it is, this that they got fired can actually 100% be just a part of the bridge of incidents leading them to another job possibility, to another version of job. Right, where they have the perfect environment, where they have the perfect salary, and just they personally judge this circumstance of getting fired as negative, of worse, of opposite, right? Whereas this is just a natural part of the unfoldment. And also Neville said this, right? And I mentioned this in also another quote which I released, where Neville basically said, if you imagine the end, if you go to the end, it is like you have been shown an end from a movie, and then you watch that movie again, you go back to the beginning, you start to go through that bridge and through everything that happens in the movie. You already know what the end is. But in that movie, in that meantime, everything can happen. The character can go up and down, and negative things can happen and positive things can happen. It doesn't matter, but you know already the end for that character. You already know that the character at the end is successful because you've seen that end of the movie. And then you just watch it again for fun. Here it's like that, right? You experience the end. It is done for you. You felt that you have the bliss of, or the experience, the satisfaction of having that higher salary, the more money, the better work environment for this specific example. Then you get fired, but that's just a part of the bridge. That does not have to say something, right? That is your own personal judgment. If you then say, now my circumstances get worse, I'm doing something wrong. No, as long as you remain in that end state and dwell back in the end, that you have the salary that you want, that you have the job environment that you want, that quote-unquote perfect job that is perfectly matching that state has to come into your experience. Okay, so the important thing is that you can't measure based on the circumstances in the external world, right? Don't take the circumstances as a measure and say, I'm good on my way. I'm good on my way. If that is only a confirming mirror, if your circumstances, right, in your relationships, in your health situation, in your financial situation, in all of your life, in your lifestyle, in all of your life areas, if that is a mirror of where you stand within, then you can't take this as a measurement point, because that is always reverberant. That is not, in a sense, up to date. Up to date is only where you stand within. That is what you have control over. You can instantly say internally right now I'm this. Now I view the world from this. And until the world confirms that, this can sometimes, come with a little delay. So you can't take the external world as a measurement point and say if things go sideways or not. And here the important thing is that measure if you are in your desired state by observing your reactions to life. That is where you can actually see if you have shifted, right? Because it matters where you stand within. So if someone, that is currently, sees red numbers on their bank account and is in poverty and does not have the financial means to be successful, or if someone is lonely and they want to be in their desired type of relationship, they can go in the end state. The circumstances can still show that they're lonely, that the partner is not there yet, that the relationship is not there yet, that the money is not there yet, that the business success is not there yet, right? But if they internally have went and moved and shifted within consciousness into the end state and made this natural, right, this new inner atmosphere, they shift into this new identity, they can check in with themselves if they have shifted by just looking at their reactions, like I said, right? So if they still react as they have reacted before to life, to what people say, to circumstances, they still feel triggered, they have not shifted. But if the circumstances are the same, right, bills come in, they still see other couples or whatever it is, but they're just neutral, they're natural, they're indifferent, because they know who they are within now. They have shifted. For them, they made a new internal state natural. That is showing them that they've shifted, not what is going on in the external world. So that is why I say don't measure if you are in the desired state by looking at your external world. That is not a measurement point. Because again, that is reverberant, that is echoing, that is the byproduct. Measure only by looking at your reactions to life. If they match the wish fulfilled, right? If you react how you would react if you would have your desire, perfect. Externally, you could still experience the same results. Again, for the money example, someone sees red numbers on their bank account. They want to be more financially stable. Okay? They imagine things that imply that they are financially stable. They shift into the end state of financial abundance, financial independence. So they start to identify themselves with a person that is financially free, that is financially stable, that always has more than enough money. So they make this natural. And as soon as this is natural, this doesn't mean that instantly, boom, their whole life circumstances change. No. When they remain in that state, of course, life will mold and reshuffle around them to reflect back that new internal arrangement of their inner world, right? Because this is what the life does, is reflect back who we are within. So there we can see, right? They can still experience red numbers on the bank account. They can still get bills. But if they have shifted into the end state internally and made this natural, they won't react to this any longer. They won't feel triggered by this. They will have to pay it and do their business and whatever. But it's just that they see this from a different standpoint, which shows them that they have shifted within consciousness. Okay, I really want this to make sense to you. So the answer to the question, right, here's the answer. When the question is asked, what does it mean when the circumstances get worse? What does that mean? The answer is, literally, it is irrelevant if these circumstances seemingly get worse. Because again, they not actually get worse. They only seemingly get worse because you judge it, because you think that this means something. But as long as you consciously go back to the desired state, you essentially won't care if things seemingly get worse, right? If for the person that wants the better job, the higher salary, if they make the state natural and they got fired, they would be like, I don't care, because they would internally know that they have already gotten this new job, that they have already received it, that this is already natural for them, that this is their new internal dwelling place and new internal state, right? And then therefore they would not act as if and be like, oh yeah, I don't care about this. No, they would literally be like, they would be indifferent, because they would already have experienced the satisfaction of the wish fulfilled within, because they imagine the end and they know what's natural for them. They know that they already got the new job. So therefore, anything seemingly worse as a circumstance could happen. The only relevant thing is, again, that when you feel triggered, that when you have doubts, that when you feel like things go sideways, check in with yourself, and if needed, simply, in a kind way, maneuver back into the state of the wish fulfilled. Right? Because when you are in the state of the wish fulfilled, then you don't react to the circumstances. You don't really care about them. Right? I could still experience health symptoms, but if internally I hear a friend of mine over and over again tell me, wow, like you look amazing. Or what's your secret about health? Like you look really fit. And all of that, and I make this so natural, then I don't react to symptoms. I might still continue to have them for a while, but they simply won't bother me, because for me, the state of health is already natural, so I don't react to these outer conditions. Right? So if you appropriate the end state, which is always the wisest thing to do, instantly going straight to the end, the bridge starts to unfold, right? Let the state lead. Even if that comes with seemingly an anticlimactic sequence of things seemingly going up and down, don't judge that. Don't think that this means that you are on the wrong path. If you can check in with yourself, the best thing to do is check your reactions, right? If they have changed, then all's good. Then you are actually in the correct state. Right? If there's not changed and you react and you're still triggered and you're still, react a lot, then the wisest thing to do is appropriate the end state again, and then the bridge starts to unfold again. The bridge will lead you, and you only have to let the state lead, right? Check out the video I did. I will link this above right now, called Let the State Lead. If you appropriate this end state, this comes already with the manifestation. This comes with the right things that need to happen to perfectly express this specific state that you occupied. So don't worry about everything that happens in between. And again, the good thing is that when you make that end state natural, you automatically won't care what happens, right? Because your reactions, your thoughts, your actions, the manifestations you get in life, they always come from the internal state that you live in, okay? So I really want this to make sense, right? A quick recap, because we reached the end already. What does it mean when the circumstances get worse? It means nothing in a sense. It really means nothing. The only important thing to do is when you feel triggered by the circumstances seemingly get worse, consciously go back into the desired state, because this is the place where you won't judge the circumstances, right? When you have it, when it is done for you, someone, can show you the opposite, but you'd be like, wait a second, I know what is true for me. I know what I experienced. I know what I just felt the satisfaction of. I experienced the wish fulfilled. It is done for me. So you won't care about seemingly opposite circumstances, right? And if you ask that question, you get triggered, that's just an indication that you still live in your old undesirable state. So what you do, again, is you appropriate the end state again, right? Then you just let that state lead, okay? That is my answer to this question. What does it mean when the circumstances get worse? I think that is a very important video. Definitely let me know in the comments down below if that helped you, if that is clear to you, or if you say you didn't got it, but I think it was clear, right? Circumstances get worse, personal judgment, because how something unfolds, how the bridge looks like, the how, right? Everything that happens from you going from that state into that state, right? You assume that state, you shift into that state, but everything that happens in between, and we can't really know, right? That can sometimes look a little bit crazy and like not making sense to your mind. But as long as your reactions already match that new state and you know that you've moved into that state and that is natural for you, it literally doesn't matter and you won't care. That is the good news. And then the circumstances can be what they want to be because you already internally live in the wish fulfilled. And that is the only thing that matters, because if you do that, then eventually the external world with its confirming function has to show that back where you live within. All right? So that's it for this video. If you need more clarity on all of these things, then check out the 2 links that I always link below. One is my free masterclass. The second is to apply for my coaching program if you would like to work personally together with me. And I speak to you in the next video. Bye, guys.